Welcome back to the rest of the story. As you can see, we are getting ready to start running these cattle through the chute. This is our vet's catching chute that we rented for the couple hours that we were doing this. If you can see, I don't know how much Ryan got on video himself. We already got the cattle in the gates, in the shed already. We set up the gates, we got them in. It is a combination of the feeder calves and Ryan's cattle we had in. The cows really don't need much. All they really needed were a couple tags touched up because they managed to rip out. A couple of them were all out missing their tags, and we had one that ripped out one out of her ear. And when you have the chute and everything here, it doesn't take very much just to run them through real quick. All his cows got were the ear tags and a pour-on, a dewormer. The rest of the feeder calves, the bulls were banded. Typically, I prefer to do cutting, but the way the weather's been, the vet advised against it for the stress. And I think every guy that's watching my channel can understand how stressing that would be. Excuse me. As far as shots, all of them, the steers and the heifers, are going to be getting a Blue Shield Gold 5, an Ultraback 7, and a pour, and tagged. The steers, heifers, we had some that were already tagged, but we had a few that we missed, and that's what we're going to be going through and doing today. Now all I have is the three clips that are in this video. I don't know, like I said, what Ryan was able to catch. He had his GoPro mount on his head, as you can see. I don't have a head mount for my GoPro. Do not send me one, anybody. Myself, I don't have any interest in walking around with the camera hanging off the front of my forehead. I've had Ryan's camera mount. I've had it mounted on my forehead before, and it's irritating. So, no, don't. Yeah, I like what I have set up as far as GoPros. Lost track. We get done setting this up. I'll show you the catching tub. Running cattle through around it. Generally, that's what the title of this video means, as far as that's when the fight started. When you start running these cattle through the chute, that's generally just one long fight. It's just one big beating. I did manage to get hit. This catching tub that you'll be seeing here in a second really did help alleviate the amount of injuries we've gotten over the years once we got it. Granted, we have the catching tub and the red gates to the left, you can see, but we don't have a catching chute. We do need a catching chute someday. I mean, we buy one, we'll have it for the rest of our lives. But the thing is, having this catching tub, we'll use it every single time we run cattle through the chute. If we only had the catching chute, we can rent the catching chute. I really don't see us, well, I've grown up not having this red tub, and we wouldn't rent one in the past. It was just another expense. So then we just use gates and trying to push the calves through, and yeah, that is usually when everybody got hurt. But this catching tub works. It's so slick. Once you get them in, which you'll see here, they can't get back out. They have to go through the chute. When we bought this catching tub, they told us that there was only, the guy that sold it to us said that he's only heard of one instance where anything got out of these catching tubs, and it was a bull. He said that they ran him through the chute, checked him, but then they wanted to haul him out to pasture. So for the time being, they put him back in the tub and just left him in there. And he really didn't appreciate that. They said he was able to clear it with his front legs, and he was able to rock it enough back and forth that he tipped it over. And yeah, that was a pretty big bull from what I understand. But for the most part, I mean, yeah, that had been quite a jump. You can see we got a couple full-grown cows in here, and I mean, they don't even come up to the top railing here. Yeah, I wish I had a little bit more of a zapper. This cane just doesn't, you can see it it doesn't help. That is the one thing you have to be aware of when you're running them through the chute like this. Few is better. Yeah, seeing she just kicked the gate. Few is better. 3 to 4, maybe 5. If you get 6 to 8, I think we've had up to 9, maybe 10 in here of feeder calves. It gets to where you can't do anything with them, and you can't really push them through. It takes 2 people to try to get a couple of them run through, so it's a little bit easier to manage with just a couple calves. And we had more trouble with the cows, the adult cows, than I did with the feeder calves. We had the feeder calves pretty well through, and the cows were just being stubborn, where it took 2 of us to get the cows in. Usually that doesn't go that way. Normally it's you have one feeder calf that stands out that just is a nightmare, and it was actually the biggest cow in the group, and she's the one that managed to swipe my knees and has me limping. But it happens. That's what we say when it. I've seen it all over the internet. Shirts that say, I didn't mean what I said when we were sorting cows. Generally, we all get along around here. 99.85% of the time. If we're going to start screaming at each other, it's going to be when we're handling cattle. That's just the long and the short of it. Your tempers get awfully short when you got a 1,500-pound cow or a 600, 700, 800-pound steer barreling down on you. You start getting a little excited. So, like I said, I didn't have my camera set up where you could see me trying to sort the cows into the tub, but it's usually that's usually the fight, is just trying to get them into the tub. But yes, the vet is gone, and we're picking up these gates right now. These gates are really handy. When it comes to setting them up, you have to do it manually. 2 people, and 1 person can do it, but they are fairly heavy. What we do, exactly what you're seeing, is using the skid steer to take them back down. It works really slick. The only thing is you gotta get around with the skid steer, and sometimes that can be a bit of a bear, but generally not too bad. We'll see if I got how my video turns out. I'll try to see if I can show you guys us taking that tub back down, because I didn't get anything of setting it up. It takes like 5 minutes. It's really not that bad. These gates were a really great investment. They're probably two feet taller than the original bar gates that we used to use, that we still have. They're just regular gates, and you'd get cattle jumping them and everything else. And with this setup, it's not very often, ever. I don't think we've ever had one get out once we've gotten it into the pole shed. We don't run them through the chute very often. Once, maybe twice a year. I think we have, memory serves me right, I think we have like another 10 or so that are a little young yet, that we didn't get through the chute, that probably the 1st of June we'll have to have them come back and run them through, vaccinate them. I know we have a couple bull calves that are going to have to get banded again. So it is what it is. These guys, at least they're good for the time being. We shouldn't have to do anything more with them vaccination-wise. They'll be put on full feed again. We'll sort out all of Ryan's cows, all of his heifers, because he had a bunch of heifers in there. And we're going to start hitting them heavy with corn again. But yeah, it was actually kind of cold out today. It got up to 11 degrees out, and Mother Nature has been cooperating that way, I'd say. It's kind of weird for me to say that. If you guys have been watching my channel enough, I hate winter, but I'd rather have it stay in the single digits and have snow on the ground than that fluctuations of hot in the 40s back down to 10 below and then back up. It's hard on the cattle. It's hard on us. It's been single digits here for the last week and a half or so, and it doesn't. You get used to it, and it's not that big a deal. And it's really hard on the cattle, because the cattle, they don't have coats that they can take on and off with the temperature variations, so you're more susceptible to cattle getting sick. And we haven't had any issues here for, oh heck, it's been over a month now. We had a couple that excuse me, we had a couple that were starting to cough. But so I hope you guys enjoyed what I was able to get to you on camera here. This GoPro mount on the top of the skid steer works great for point of view. So I think you guys will be able to look forward to a lot of good videos like this in the summer here. But I had to shut the camera off because Andrew was standing right next to me and he wanted to talk. So thanks for watching. Take care. Take it easy. Keep in touch. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to do so. I'll talk to you guys later.